The first objection handling tool is LEAPQ. So this is when somebody has said to you, that price is too high, for example, and you've gone, what do I do? How do I listen? Oh, it could even be, and there has been times in business where I've helped teams out with this, where they've recalled to me where someone's come in and they're just shouting in their face. Like the person's been so unemotionally intelligent, or they're so het up about whatever it is that they are having it out with a team member. And actually, as a team member, being able to go through this, and as the owner, going through this toolkit has allowed them to diffuse the tension, build the rapport with the person again, and the person has been able to come up with a solution. And most of those times, those are the people that turn into raving fans of the business because they feel like they've been heard. Everyone in this world just wants to be heard. We were born trying to be heard. That's why babies cry so loud. And that never leaves us. So it's an analogy, LEAPQ. And L means listen. It's very common in any interaction that most people are waiting for their turn to say what they want to say, rather than truly hearing what the other person is saying. And when you are dealing with a fractious interaction, listening purposefully for what the person is saying is how you win. So listening actively could even mean that you're writing it down as they're talking. If you've got a training facilities, it could be, I couldn't find the car park and then I couldn't find the front door. You want to hear every single ailment that they're going to come up with before you step into the next phases of this analogy. Because if you only hear one issue and you resolve that issue, what can happen is someone then throws you another one. And then it turns into a really, like, no matter what they say, you've got to go through the process again. So actually listening, and the first 3 steps are how you're going to draw out everything from that person. And sometimes they even say things that they don't know were bothering them. I recalled in a previous session that I had a team member in my salon, and this lady came in and she was really narky because she couldn't get her appointment, and she was really rude to my girl on front desk. And she went through this LEAPQ methodology and she calmed down, but she left. She didn't make an appointment or anything. She still left. She was still in a mood. She came back the next day, and I congratulate my team member. I said, you held yourself together really well there. You were very professional. I'm very impressed. The next day, the lady came back and my team member was like, no, I'm not talking to her again. You talk to her, Elizabeth. But she'd walked in with a bunch of flowers to apologise to my team member and said, I was having a really bad day and I took it out on you. These flowers are for you. I'm so sorry. And also, you did a great job. And then she was a client of ours for ages and a lovely, lovely woman. It was just that we caught her at a bad time. So, but if my team member had started yelling back at her, what would have happened? The reviews on Facebook would be there. She'd be spreading the word that we are the worst people in the world. So this is gonna protect you, and I promise that it becomes very natural once you start going through it. So L is listen. E is empathize. Now, this makes a lot of people feel really uncomfortable because they don't want to agree with someone saying something negative, particularly if it's about you or your business or your service, because, yeah, there's an emotional thing happening. Now, empathizing doesn't mean agreeing. Empathizing means I hear you. I see. Got it. Write those 3 sentences down. I hear you. I see. Got it. And when you only empathize and say, got it, agree, whatever it is, I hear you, once they finish. So actually, if they're starting with an ailment, let them finish it out before you jump in and correct it. So listen intently, let them actually stop, then go, okay, I hear you. And then go on to A. A is 2 steps. 1 is ask, and the second is ask to isolate. I'll give you an example. So if we're talking about the car park at your training facilities or pricing, then it's like, what is it about the car park in particular that is bothering you right now? That's ask. And then ask to isolate is how we prevent them throwing us a little extra at the end, is other than the car park or other than the prices, is there anything else that's concerning you right now? And this is where they may come up and go, yeah, I'm just not sure that I can stick to seeing you every month, or I'm not sure that massage is going to work for my dog. I've never done it before and I've never known it. And this is great. This is all perfect information. And again, this is where you're going to capture it and write it down. And then P is you're going to problem solve. You are experts in your fields and you've done the study and the research. This is where knowing some certain stats and results and having results-based items to throw back into the mix is really important. And if there isn't a problem solved, then don't BS them. I'm so sorry about the car park. I hear you. That's really annoying. It's okay. So problem solve where possible, but even the fact that you've heard them out will be building that rapport with you. And by now, people would have simmered down a touch if they have started with high energy emotion, like anger. And finally, whenever you've been going through a bit of a roller coaster with a client, we're going to use a question. And in this example, we are going to use the question method, if I would you. So you're going to offer the solve. If I were able to offer you a payment plan for Freddie's care, Freddie the dog, would you be happy to get started this week? Yes. If I was able to magic up a car park, would you be ready to get going? Yes. If the car park was not an issue, would you be ready to get going? Because if that's the deal breaker and they aren't ready to get going, then that's great. Okay, end of interaction. We've built rapport, but this is not right for them. So question, if I would you, this is service first. Remember, all of these interactions for overcoming objections and for having selling certainty is how can we serve them first? Because when we can get them to understand, then they will be ready to act.